It's week 7 and it's the last week, and I'm with my friend Anna, who's over there and walking through the gardens. We're in someone's garden. I don't actually know whose house this is, so we're trespassing right now. Scrumping some apples, but Anna has just been given some land where she's going to be planting an orchard. So when we found these lovely apple trees, she's just taking apples for samples that she can grow.
The trouble is, so the soil, evaporates, so loses humidity, and whatever was here before was some sort of, let's call it wheat, maybe barley, but it was a grain. It could have been easy to put some clover underneath, right? Sow some clover into the wheat. That will stay really little as long as the wheat's there. Once the wheat's gone, clover comes out, and you have a coverage of the whole field. Yeah. Right. You also, clover will start flowering, so you'll have something for the bees, because that land will have been barren for a while now. It got a lot of rain, so it looks sort of fresh, and now it's been sown. But you can then sow back into the clover. You would just rip the ground, rip the surface, cut the clover obviously, give it to the cows, and they love it, and then rip the surface and sow right into it. You always want to prevent a barren soil. Yeah, because it is evaporating, the water's evaporating. We're just losing the water, and if we're running into a dry winter, and we're not feeding the aquifer here. Yeah. I don't know, but in the Downs, I show you some pictures of the Downs. It's terrifying, and we're running out of water over there. Yeah. East Anglia doesn't have the prettiest countryside, but it has the prettiest houses. We've just found a sword in the stone. I don't even know where we are. We're near Chedborough in Suffolk. Look, this is a gorgeous pond. Go on, Anna, have a go. Let's see if you're... Pull it out. Yeah. You're the King of England. Okay. German Anna, are you the King of England? Might come out. Oh, fuck. No. It's not. You're not the King of England. I'm going to have a go. I've got to have a go. You have a go. I'll have a go. Thank you. Shall I film you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not the King of England. So green and nice. It's a gorgeous sunset. This is the end of day 1 on the last week, and over there's our little church spire, which is where we're walking to, and look at you looking glorious in the sun. It's the golden hour. Had an amazing time at Kentwell over the weekend, and it was wonderful to be in the world of Tudors and be a Tudor pilgrim. I was telling people about my pilgrimage, and I'd been on the radio, and so people came who had heard me and were talking to me, and that was really wonderful. And then today is the first day being back on the Michael line, and we walked from Great Thurlow to Chedborough, and it just, oh God, I really can feel being back on it. It's so wonderful. So yeah, it's been amazing. They've got a place for us to stay, they've got food for us. We're supposed to be here like half an hour ago. Yeah, this is great. But I got scared by highways. Yeah, the highway was scary and we just nearly killed a rat. But it's all good. Yeah. It's beautiful and misty today. And there's a little church hiding in the trees just over there. Love this kind of weather because no one else is about. It's very magical. So we have all these lovely displays here for the Harvest Festival, which is Michaelmas, St Michael's Mass, on the 29th. This church is very beautiful. This is in Chevington, in Suffolk. It's really beautiful. Big desert. Yeah, 2 big deserts. It's beautiful on a day like this. It's beautiful. We're just having the most amazing conversation about farming and land management, and how we could create loads of jobs by making smaller farms and more biodiversity, by having more hedgerows and smaller farms with more varied, because everything they were talking about, wasn't it, was that you have local seeds
and you have a variety of seeds in a crop, so that there's different things growing at different times, and all of these things that are possible right now to make it okay, to make everything okay, which is what we need, isn't it?
Well, we can totally impact the health of the ecosystems where we live, and we're surrounded by. And this is every world citizen's duty right now, in my eye. No matter what fucking job you have, you know, no matter where you live on this planet, you are fed somehow, right? And you put your feet on ground and soil somewhere. And you've got to make sure that the surrounding is looked after in the best possible way and most resilient looking forward.
So that's eating locally sourced food and organic food. So you're not feeding the fertiliser industry, and there isn't the carbon footprint of your food coming from elsewhere. And that's more important than vegetarianism or veganism. I mean, we need to eat less meat, so eat less meat, but we need to be eating locally sourced food.
And what it also does, I mean, you already said it with fertilizer, but that also includes the pesticides. So basically, you avoid all the chemicals, everything that destroys the good microorganisms in the soil, everything that our immune system actually needs. You destroy that through conventional farming techniques.
Yeah.
This is why eating organic and locally is so important.
Yeah. I've arrived in Bury St Edmunds at the cathedral, and it's Michaelmas today. It's the 29th, and we're going to get a blessing, so very excited. Yesterday I was blessed at Bury St Edmunds Cathedral, and it was amazing. I felt so I could feel in the prayer he said that St Michael and St Mary were there holding me, and all of the angels, and I felt St Michael behind me with his arms wrapped around me, and St Mary in front of me with her arms wrapped around me, and I felt them holding me, but I could also feel how they were my inner divine feminine and divine masculine, and the balance between the two. And it just struck me how exceptional it is that I've been doing this over the autumn equinox and Michaelmas, that it's the balance between the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, and how I feel that. I feel balanced, I feel strong, I feel protected, I feel held and loved, and I feel, equally strong feminine and equally strong masculine. I feel like I can do anything. I don't have a scratch or a bruise or a blister on me. I'm the least damaged I've ever been in my whole entire life. And I've just walked 650 miles, and I've just felt nothing but safe this whole way. And and then all the other angels, I felt them all come in, and this big ball of golden light surround me and just hold me, and it was really emotional, and I cried my eyes out, and it felt really strong, powerful thing to do, and I'm really glad that I thought of doing it. I don't know what these birds are, but they're absolutely massive. They were the size of red kites. They're black and white. They almost look like vultures. And I don't know what they are. Yeah. Some type of geese. What type of geese is that? I feel like they're not Canada geese. Maybe they are. They're a bit more colourful than Canada geese. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there we go, they're geese. Potato. This walk has felt very Lord of the Rings. I keep getting the music of Lord of the Rings in my head. I'm at St Andrew's Church in Tinworth. I don't know whether it's on the line. It feels like it is. It's the first church I could see as I left Bury St Edmunds along the line. So it feels like pilgrims would have at least been coming on here or along the route. It feels like it's on the line. But I thought I might tell you the story about the stick, because I realised I haven't shared that. So when I was in Cornwall, I had a stick that was quite flimsy, but it was my first stick. And I called it John because when I set off with Fran and John. And Fran I call my little acorn, and I've got a little acorn in my bum bag that I'm taking with me to Norfolk. And then I also had my stick, which I called John. But it was flimsy, and when I arrived at a dairy farm in Devon, the sheepdog there knew that it was his stick immediately and ripped it to pieces, and there was just no way I was going to get out of there alive with the stick intact. So the stick was destroyed. So then I stayed at my friend Rebecca's in just over the Devon border, and she had a gorgeous ancient yew tree, and there was a staff-shaped tree, a branch growing up with a green sprig at the top. Well, the whole thing was covered in green sprigs. Kieran, my friend, cut it down, and I pulled the bark off and I sanded it, and kept the sprig at the top. And that was called John, and he was my friend, and I loved him very much, and he was going to come with me all the way to Norfolk. And I really, the yew tree is really special to me. It features in my book. I've written a book called Sisterhood, which is on Amazon if anyone wants to buy it, which is about 3 women accused of witchcraft, aged 20, 40 and 60, locked in a church in the 16th century, and in the morning they're going to face their trial for witchcraft. And it's sort of set around a yew tree. So the yew tree is very special to me, and this staff was very special to me. But then when I was in Ogbourne St George, I met Geraldine and Gordon, who were on the Earth Energies Facebook group. And they came and met me, and they did me the great honour of giving me this staff, which is a healing stick, and told me I was a guardian. I was number 82, and that as I walked I would be making a spirit line where every time I touched the floor it would be sending out loving vibrations. And I'm a theatre maker and a fool, and one of the main things that when you're doing improvisation is you always accept the offer. And so I do that in life. I accept the offers. And I walked for the day with Geraldine, with both staffs, and I said goodbye to John. And I gave Geraldine John, and I said, well, he's really special to me, you need to look after him, but I will take this staff and I'll take it with me. And it's a beautiful hazel staff. It's been activated by being put in a sack with an ancient staff to transfer the knowledge of the ancient staff, and then it's then activated in a spring. And I then got some lovely messages from Geraldine updating me on the adventures of John, and then John got activated himself, and he's the first non-hazel staff to be activated, and so now he's a healing stick in his own right, and he's off on all sorts of adventures that I keep hearing about, which I love. And I called this staff Sherwin after another pilgrim, the only other pilgrim that I've met on my journey, who was staying at my teacher, my fooling teacher, Jonathan Kay, who lives in Glastonbury. He was an Indian gentleman who was staying at Jonathan's house, who is off on a pilgrimage driving around the UK for the next 6 months. And I thought his name was great. So this is called Sherwin. And I have recently realised that there's as many notches on here as there are counties that I've crossed, which are Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, Wiltshire, Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Berkshire, Hertfordshire, Essex, Suffolk, Norfolk. So that was just by pure coincidence. This is my wonderful staff Sherwin. This is a fight going on between a kite and some buzzards. Datura, Jimson weed, thorny apple, devil's snare, hallucinogenic, beautiful, magical, moonflower, Datura. God, I love East Anglia. It's my home turf, so I know I'm biased, but I just love it. So many people have lived here, so many lives have been here. There's this thick soup of history, and it's just, this land and everything has just been managed and farmed and lived on and died on and fought on and shacked on, and just so much has happened here, and I love it. This royal throne of kings, this sceptred isle, this earth of majesty, this seat of Mars, this other Eden, demi-paradise, this fortress built by nature for herself against infection and the hand of war, this happy breed of men, this little world, this precious stone set in a silver sea which serves it in the office of a wall, or as a moat defensive to a house against the envy of less happier lands. This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. I bless this waterway and surrounding land in gratitude for all that she does for me. The priest said yesterday that I'm going to grieve the walk. And he's right. I'm already grieving it. I mean, I'm enjoying the moment and being present, but I don't want to stop doing this. My friends, the hazel and the mugwort and the ladybirds and the datura and the stinging nettles and the rose hips and the hawthorn and the blackberries, they're my friends. I don't want to stop hanging out with them. I don't want to stop walking. And Michael and Mary, the limes, I don't want to stop. I might just walk into the sea. But yeah, I can feel the grief I'm going to have for stopping. I don't want to be back in that shit world that they're telling us to participate in. Fuck that. It's bollocks. Hello, bull. I just feel like I'm standing next to this tarpaulin, this grubby little bit of tarpaulin, and underneath it's just all these jackasses arguing with each other and like wielding weapons of war and just telling us to participate in some bollocks performance, play, story that they're the winners of. So why? I don't know. Oh, thank you. Because if you're not under that tarpaulin, you're standing in this, looking out at this majestic, beautiful world that's just full of lovely friends. And it's our responsibility to look after it. And it's going and it's dying. And we need to connect with it and be part of it and love it and cherish it. And we need to be earth worshippers again. And we need to weave stories about the land. We need to recreate deities and recreate the mythology that made us love this land so desperately that we would never do anything to hurt it. We have to do this again. It's the only way. It's the only way we're going to survive. We have to love the land. We have to connect with it. And we have to creatively, magically interweave our lives with it so that everything we do is sacred and everything we do is with loving kindness. And it's for the 6 generations ahead of us. I bless this waterway and surrounding land in gratitude for all that she does for me. Rainbow is going to the church that we're going to, which is another St Mary church, and it's a double, like it's double thick. Yeah, it's double thick in its thickness. I've never seen such an amazing rainbow before. It's like double thick, and then there was 2 a minute ago. It was a double rainbow, but it's also twice thick rainbow. And it's going to our church where we're walking to now. Hello, Rainbow Serpent. We think that we're in Norfolk. I don't know where we are though. We're in a little village in Norfolk and we've just found this lovely little church, and in the church there is St George and St Michael, and that little alcove on the left is a little statue of Mary. So we've got the full trinity here of the walk. We've suddenly walked into new terrain. It's Thetford Forest. Again, somewhere that I've hung out for many a year. My really good mates live in this area, and I believe we're in Norfolk. I believe we're in Norfolk. We did it. I don't want it to stop. I'm going to just turn around and walk back again. Big sky country. And we've avoided the storms again still. But yeah, this is the Norfolk. We are one day away from the end. This is just the best place to... Jen's lovely place. Isn't it gorgeous? But this is just the best time of year to be walking because it's just abundant and scrummy. Nom nom. Eating all the apples. Yum yum yum. Beautiful. Here we are in Beccles. So this is the second to last place. Tomorrow we reach Hopton. It's the sound of St Michael's bells ringing us goodbye on our last day. And we're walking into Hopton and the sun is out. I'm going to miss this so very much, but I'm enjoying the moment. We're in a fairy field. There's loads of rings of fairy rings. There's fairy rings. And there's our lovely church in the background. And the whole field is full of fairy rings. We're standing in the fairy ring circle, hoping that we've been teleported to a new reality where there's no Donald Trump, just unicorns and jelly and discos. I can hear the sea. It's the first time since... I can see the sea! It's the first time since August. How do we get to it? How do we get out of these caravans? Here we are! It's the sea! We did it!
I can see the sea!
I can see the sea! Let's get in it! Okay, and then what we do is we all bend our hands. So bend your hand like that.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's the end of the journey. Thank you everyone for being here for the end of this. And there we have in the middle Ing and the little acorn and the little stick for John and Fran.
Yeah.
And it's connecting the spirit line all the way to Kennable. Huzzah!
And the tide comes up every time, twice a day.
Twice a day! Pop that, the link. Huzzah!
Is more or less where the Mary line goes out.
Is it? We're perfectly on the Mary line. So squeeze in a bit. You want to squeeze in a little bit? Alright, so 1, 2, 3.